that these are needed. They help shift what people think of as normal. They help shift the consumption people expect to have as part of their lives, but they're not enough to stop the climate emergency, because this is something that is deeply embedded in our economy, and it's embedded in the way that every single part of our society works. There's also a lot of climate groups that are pushing for the US to get back into the Paris Accords. So the Paris Accords were an international treaty where a bunch of countries came together and decided they're going to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. They're going to reduce the amount of pollution that causes global heating. And that might sound good, but one big problem is that the math just doesn't add up. The commitments that countries actually agreed to in the Paris Accords put us on track for 3 degrees Celsius or more of warming. And they're not even enough to meet the goals stated in the agreement, and they put us on track for a very dangerous future. And another problem is that the Paris Accord sets a goal of, ideally trying for 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming, which is 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit, and definitely keeping it to 2 degrees Celsius of warming or less, which is 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit. But we think this is the wrong goalpost, because it could very well be a death sentence for millions of people, right? Getting close to 2 degrees Celsius of warming is going to render agriculture, growing food, impossible in huge regions of the world, and it's going to have a lot of other negative consequences. So we said the climate emergency is a cascading breakdown of our climate system, and cascading means that every bad consequence causes other worse consequences to happen. And some people call these tipping points or feedback loops. And there's one example happening in the ocean right now. So if you're standing out in the sun on a warm day, not a day like today, not in a gym like this gym, are you going to be warmer in a white shirt or a dark blue shirt? You're going to be warmer in a dark blue shirt. So maybe we should have all worn dark blue shirts today, so we could be a little bit warmer. And you'll be cooler in a white shirt. Warmer in a dark blue shirt, cooler in a white shirt. And the same thing is happening right now with our planet. So the ice that is normally on the ocean reflects light back to the sun and helps keep our planet cool, or helps keep it really at the right temperature. But as the Earth gets hotter, that ice is melting, and so there's less of our planet covered in a cooling white shirt, and there's more of our planet covered in a dark blue ocean. And that alone means that in the next several decades, we might reach a point where the Earth just keeps getting hotter and hotter, no matter what other changes we make. So let's just look at where we are now. So that was 2015, and that the line a little bit lower is where we have historically been. Because of the way that greenhouse gases work, there's already more warming in the atmosphere, more heating that we're on the hook for than we've experienced yet, because there's a time delay. So we will be feeling the effects of the greenhouse gases that are already in the atmosphere for decades, and it will keep getting worse for years. There's also a way that the pollution and smog in the atmosphere is actually blocking sunlight and is actually keeping us cooler. So if we were to stop burning fossil fuels today, the Earth would actually get hotter, scientists believe, because we wouldn't be blocking out as much sun. So some scientists think we now have enough pollution in the atmosphere to heat the Earth by 4.3 degrees Fahrenheit, and possibly on our current path, could heat the Earth more than 7 degrees Fahrenheit by 2060. And we're on the hook for a series of worsening consequences as that happens. At 2 degrees Celsius, which is 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit, ice sheets could collapse into the ocean, displacing 10 million people. Heat waves killing thousands of people a year in this country. We would see crops yields start to decline, which, like some folks mentioned, we're already seeing in some places. And we'll catch 3 million tons less fish. And that's 3 million tons less food for people whose diets depend on fish. At 3 degrees Celsius, we'll see droughts lasting an average of 5 years in North Africa, and permanent droughts in Southern Europe, and 6 times as much ground burned by wildfires in the United States. At 4 degrees Celsius, which is 7 degrees Fahrenheit, farming yields of grain would be expected to fall by 50%. So that's like 50% less food. And so all of this means we're talking about less food and a lower standard of living worldwide.
You said 4.5 degrees Celsius on that one?
Just 4. 4 degrees Celsius, grain yields falling by 50%, economy shrinking by 30%, for anyone taking notes. And we'll send this out to you. So there's other tipping points, right? And as some of you might have seen in this Hot House Earth scientific paper that came out recently, there is a risk that no matter what we do, we could end up in a situation where the Earth keeps getting hotter, right? One of those potential risk factors is that there is now methane being released from the Arctic permafrost, so land that's supposed to stay permanently frozen, is now thawing out and releasing methane, which is a powerful greenhouse gas. If the Amazon rainforest dies off and continues being destroyed, that could release 10 years worth of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. And then losing sea ice, like we were just talking about, is another factor that could put us into a heating spiral, a worse heating spiral than we're already in.
Ms. Rebecca.
So we've already discussed this, but we're moving from one heavy topic to another. So since all of you are coming at this with a lot of knowledge, this might not be as applicable to you, but when you give the training yourself, feel free to remind people that they can step out and take breaks. These are really kind of crushing facts. So if you need a brief moment to look at kitten photos on your phone, that's totally fine. So
When was the break, by the way? We gave a break.
1:15 is when we're planning on taking our break.
I thought there was one.
Yeah, we'll get a shorter break in about 20 minutes.
That's